No, wait. What did I want to say? I lost my train of thought, David.
No worries.
Something about. I'm gonna cut this part.
That's fine.
Oh, this sucks. Welcome everyone to another episode of Critical Arcade. My name is Nick. With me, I've got David.
Hi, I'm David Edwards. Nice to meet everyone. Let's get started.
Let's do this. I'm very excited for this week. I'm so excited. Last week we played some piece of shit. Digimon World. It's a lot of people's favorite PS1 game.
That's true. You got to be careful. But it wasn't. Let's say it wasn't our favorite PS1 game.
No,
to say
far
the
from
least.
it.
Yeah.
Far from it. This week, not the case. We've got a new game. It's called Inside.
Well, you say new game. It was released in 2016, but a new game to us. I know, it's crazy. It's generally painful for me to know that I haven't played this and it's been out for so long.
Yeah.
And everything about this game was just, oh no, it was lovely. I'm sure you'll hear in a moment.
What pains me is when you say something from 2016 isn't new.
That's true. Like I say, what's 16? That's 6 years old. That's scary. Almost 7, I suppose, depending on which part of the year. Don't even get me started. Don't get me started.
I'm sure you feel this more than I do, but something like Arkham Knight, Batman Arkham Knight, that got released in 2015.
No.
And even that's still new to me.
No, that's new to me too. Like that, like anything. But then this is one of those things, like Digimon, even though that's over 20 years old, I can't wrap my head around that that's an old game, because that makes me old, and I have to admit I'm old, and I'm not going to. I'm still
going to refuse.
I'm going to watch Pokemon on TV, and I'm going to still watch anime, and I don't care anymore.
Yes. Take that.
Anyway, sorry, where were we?
Inside.
That's right. What was Inside? Made by the publisher that I'm sure everybody generally knows. What's it called?
Playdead.
Playdead also made that other famous game, which I think is even older, called Limbo. Also, I haven't played that, which, again, I should be putting the stocks and throwing fruit at, because, if you haven't played that game, what's wrong with you? So I'm told. But anyway, back to Limbo.
Back to Inside, you mean?
Oh no, Inside. See?
There you go again.
See, I don't know.
Inside, created by Playdead in 16, you said?
Yeah.
Was met with critical acclaim and even a couple of Game of the Year nods.
Oh, yeah.
For 20s. Yeah. No, a lot of people really like that game, making it the top of that year.
Yeah, no doubt. It won loads of accolades. Like, I was just reading the list earlier.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, and I just, like I said, I can't. I'm going to sound like a fanboy, and I really just found it, but I can't agree more. It should have won more games. I'd have been intrigued. I'm intrigued what it went up against. I should have actually looked into that, because like I said,
right, that's a
game of the year. Against? What did it go against? What beat it? And like I said, I get there might have been some other uber hits out there that I just don't know about at the same time. But like I said, I love this game so much. I don't know if I should start diving into it, because it's. And by the way, everybody listening, this is such a hard game to review, because there are so many spoilers that you want to share.
That's right.
You can't. And it's so hard. You got to pick your words so carefully, because you don't want to let slip this tiny little thing here or this tiny little thing there, because it's the experience of playing it is the best part of it. And going through it yourself or with friends.
Truly.
Yeah.
Truly.
Like I said, these are one of those games. Like I've always in my mind, always thought that there are the games that you play on yourself, and there's games that you play. You should actually play as an event. You should have people around, get your family, your grandparents, your kids, and stuff like that, and you put this on the TV and you experience it together.
Maybe not your kids.
Granted, yes, okay, old teenagers, a little bit older, but just. I often feel that there's a generational gap that some people just don't, because it's games and they're silly things, but people are really missing out. And this is one of those games. It is.
I'd
watch this in the cinema. Like, if somebody else was playing it, I'd literally go and watch someone play this game.
That's a very interesting thing, because while I agree totally that this game is an experience, much less than something that 5-year-old Jimmy plays when he's not doing homework or eating snacks. This is definitely an experience to be had for a game that I think generally doesn't look as good as something like God of War. It's not as cinematic.
No, like I said, that first scene in God of War, people know, that blew me away when I first saw it. And it isn't that level. It's true.
But that just heavily implies, again, that it's not the visuals that are making this such an experience, but it's everything else.
Yeah, it's a whole cocktail of just love. You can see that the developers and the designers and stuff, this isn't one of those pushed out the gate before Christmas type games so that everybody...
No.
This was a labor of love, and almost every part of it. Sounds, graphics, so we'll go into that in a moment. But it came across as someone's like magnum opus. This is the Breaking Bad of like making a computer game. This is someone's masterpiece, and it came across that way.
In the dictionary, if you find the words passion project, you get a picture of inside.
Yeah, no doubt. And I hopefully Limbo too. I said,
yes.
The idea that there's studios out there doing this, and their passion is genuinely just jumping off the page. That's exciting stuff.
It is, and it makes me excited because the sheet that we made is filled with them.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, it is an exciting. Like I say, we're gonna have an exciting future ahead of us. No doubt.
Games like, have you heard of Tunic?
Yes, I think, isn't that quite recent or not?
It is.
Is that the little fox?
Yes, that's
right. No, I remember that.
I'm getting the same vibes that the developers or the makers of this game put in everything. A lot of love and passion and care. You said real blood, sweat, and tears went into this game.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like I said, there are a few developers out there. Like I've still been meaning to play Ori and the Blind Forest or something like that. Yes. I can't remember what it's called. That's supposed to be another like a special gaming experience and stuff like that, which, like I said, I look forward to. I'm sure it's on our list somewhere.
It is. Let's start diving into the segments we've got.
Yeah, let's break this down, yeah.
For the narrative, the majority of the narrative had me equal parts confused and invested.
Yeah, that was the best part about it. Like I said, there were so many... No, like I said, I must admit, I've got a fanboy about this. There were so many top parts that you just asked why.
Yes,
every next scene you said, why is that there? And what's that? Why is that happening? And what's that noise? And who are they? And
very, very, very few times you actually get an answer.
No, and that's it's almost like the cliffhanger was like on every little chapter. You always wanted to know, and then like, what is going on? Every single part you're asking, what is going on? And to be honest with you, you've got to take into account this whole narrative is based on no talking. No actual dialogue. Mm-hmm. It's all just it's almost like a silent movie playing out. You're controlling it, but it's all just happening in front of you, and the whole aspect is just asking what and why and who and I loved that. That I can dive into for hours.
That is this game gives an excellent almost masterclass in visual storytelling.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
It takes the lesson in filmmaking of show, don't tell.
Yeah. No,
and it runs with it, and it does so excellently.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of watching a book. You don't need everything else. You just need to...
That's good.
Just take in what's going on. You don't... I like I said, there were so many things. Like I can't get into it because it's the next bit. But the narrative, I loved it. It asked so many questions, and like you said, very few got answered. I'm sitting here now, like with questions in my head that I'd love to speak to the developers about, because I'm like, why this and why that? And that's great. Yeah. That is a great feeling. It makes me excited. Like if there's ever like an Inside 2, I'd buy that opening day. Because maybe some of my questions would be answered.
That's the thing with these games, though. They don't get sequels. These passion.
Yeah, I know. That's very true.
It's a pity.
Yeah.
What this game does, that a lot of other, not necessarily games, but books and films and some series does as well, is it's not afraid to create a ton of mysteries and then just completely ignore addressing them afterwards.
Yeah, no, entirely.
Not out of laziness, but purely to have the consumer, the person who's consuming this media, to keep it open-ended. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's exactly right. No, that's exactly it. And like I said, there's an excitement to that aspect. There's a
exactly
that keeps you wanting to go to the next chapter. You know, it's masterfully done. It's very cleverly narrative. Very clever narrative was actually designed for this. Without any words, it's brilliant. What can I say?
Even afterwards, it keeps you thinking. Oh, what did this mean? What did that mean? Why did she kiss me and all of a sudden I can breathe underwater?
Yeah. What's the girl from The Ring doing in this? I don't know.
Exactly.
What's she doing?
Why is she so fast underwater?
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah, like I said, I a bit of a heads up. You know, I was playing this game. Okay, this is dark, and then I don't play horror games. I'm like, damn, this is getting scary. Can that girl just go away, please? Because she creeped me out. Don't get me wrong, it was all very beautifully done, but she stressed me out.
Oh, yeah. Tension. Tension.
Yeah. And like I say, and ladies and gents, like I say, our list of games have lots of horror games on them, so I'm looking forward to that, because this little girl freaked me out enough. You wait until Dead Space, and oh, God.
Oh, I can't wait.
You just like
I can't wait.
The torture aspect of it for me.
So I'm okay. I'm getting a vibe between the two of us. You do not prefer horror games.
Oh, not at all. I'm more like I appreciate them, but narratively, I like a good story. I like I like to dive into a good, story that you can escape into. And I find horror games just, well, there's lots of good ones, but they're too much jump scares and just grotesque violence for the sake of it.
Right. Okay. So those cheap horror games, we're not going to.
Oh, we can try. It's just you'll probably score them better than I will. Yeah.
But what about the deeper, more thinky horror games, like the earlier Silent Hill games?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say Silent Hill games. Now, granted, I give Silent Hill their kudos. They made some good psychologically scary games, and the whole aspect of running out of ammo and stuff like that, which is, that's stressful. I played them, but like I said, my brother used to play them, and I used to watch him, and that was enough for me. But I look forward as a adult. Can I still handle it? Can I do better? Who knows? Probably not.
I'll have the same questions. So inside.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Go on.
Inside. I was very surprised to know that there are multiple endings.
Yes.
We won't have to discuss what they are.
I wish I could discuss what they are, but no, we won't.
No, but.
Oh, sorry. Let me just add another thing. Sorry, just because it was quite a funny story. When I was playing this game in the room that our computer set up, my wife also sits in the room and plays on TikTok or whatever. She's one of those.
Yeah.
And I was just playing it, and every once in a while she'd look up and she'd be like, "What's going on?" and she'd ignore it. But then at one point, and I won't spoil it too much, when you're made to pull a worm out of a pig's butthole, she was hooked. She was like, "What is going on?" She had to make me restart the game so she could see what was going on, because the narrative, and not only that, the audio made her have to continue watching.
Wait a minute.
And then
before we go on, I just need to turn off the baby monitor.
Okay, go.
Okay, it's off. Sorry, I don't want to say anything and then just have the static baby noises in the background.
No worries.
You were saying you were pulling parasites out of an anus.
Out of an anus of a pig, as one does in many games, I'm sure. And she was just hooked. She was just like the atmosphere and everything like that, and then this weird stuff happening, and then she puts down her phone, sits next to me, and just watched me play it and helped me with the puzzles every now and again, because
Playdead.
Quite hard.
They are probably so genius. They knew this was going to happen, and that's why they put it at the start of the game.
Yes, exactly. The most. Who doesn't want to know why there's a worm in a pig's butt? That's Oscar-worthy type.
That's Oscar-worthy writing right there.
Yeah, exactly, right there.
That's good stuff.
Anyway, visuals.
On with the visuals. This is the part that was, I don't want to say lacking, but wasn't as good as all the other segments that for me. The entire game felt There were obviously some very, very insanely good parts, but most of it felt drab.
See, now this is where, I won't say we disagree. You're right. There are many prettier games out there. There are, and don't get me wrong, like lovely art that is art. I don't care what people say. There's beautiful games out there. No, but I think there's almost a sense of making the art style a bit simpler to get to more people, if you know what I mean. The people who don't have high-end PCs or PlayStation 5s. This game in theory could even be played on your phone. The graphics aren't as high res or high definition as you really need. And I don't know if that was just like a plan to get it in more people's hands because of the story they're trying to put across. At least that's what I kind of think. I think
genius.
Yeah, and there was one aspect, and I don't want to give things away and stuff like that. But you play a little boy, and everybody else, they have no faces. They have no. They're almost marionettes. Like your puppet on the string type things. And I think there was. Sorry, go on.
Before, just something on that. You're right. There weren't any people in the game that had faces, although a lot of the enemies in the game, enemies, the people that hunt you down, wore masks with faces.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So again, I don't know if they're trying to emulate having faces or if they actually do have faces underneath.
That's again one of those questions we were talking about earlier. It leaves you with all these questions, and I like to think there was a reason they didn't have faces. There was a reason.
Yes.
There was a disconnect to the humanity aspect of it, because this whole game makes you question it, and I think some part of me thinks the visual style is kind of adding to the level of asking what's going on, why the no faces, why the guys wearing masks with faces. There were so many, and I know, like I said, it can always be more high def, and it's a very hard one to grade because everything's comparative depending on the whole premise of the game.
Yes.
But like I said, I actually, as you can hear, I enjoyed the visuals probably more than you did, just because
most
of
likely
weird take I have on it. That's
probably it. Not to continue throwing it back to you being older than I am, but it might just
it's fine.
it might just be you've grown a larger appreciation to much more than just the visuals than I have.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. That's one of the reasons we do the podcast, because there is that perspective. There is, I'm not sure if it's entirely true, but I, of course, was born without internet, and you were born with internet, right? It's a weird reasoning, but there is a disconnect when I'm not sure. You may have been born with dial-up, right? You were dial-up.
No, only in high school. Really? Yeah, but that's not because That's just because we were poor. That's it.
Well, yeah, there was that side of things too. But there is an interesting aspect between the younger generation and the older generation, because the younger generation has been born with so much technology.
Yes.
That the ability to look back, to some degree, I've got the ability to see when we had less technology and it's grown. So, like I say, it gives a good perspective to both our sides. And like I said, I look forward to hearing what even younger people think, because they've been surrounded by HD graphics since they've been born.
Yes.
It's an interesting perspectives.
Oh, for sure. And if a lot of kids from these generations do play a game like Inside, which it's not an old game, but we spoke about this. It is new. Yeah. But they would interpret it much differently than we would.
But you say that, and then in my mind, all I think is Minecraft. One of the highest selling games, I think, of all time. I think it still is.
And it looks...
Yeah.
No,
it's fascinating. It's fascinating, really.
It is fascinating, you're right.
It is really interesting. But yeah, I love the visuals. I think it may, like I said, I might be reading into things. Maybe they did it for a reason. Maybe they didn't. But I like my version better.
Yes. My favorite part of the visuals for Inside would be a lot of the areas you would explore. the absolute detail that would go into the background.
Yes, no, 100%.
Some of these spaces were huge, and not only huge, but detailed.
And it's got that perfect blend of 2D to make 3D.
Yes.
If you know what I mean. They've got that lovely aspect that you look at everything. And you've got to, like I said, I would speak to this a bit further on in gameplay. You've got to remember, ladies and gents, this is only a side-scroller. This is as many button pushes as Mario. It's left,
insane.
right, up,
it is
down.
insane.
But it has so much like depth to the 2D graphics to it that you wouldn't even notice that you're actually just walking a 2D sprite from one left to right, you know. And there's a few actionable aspects, but it's impressive. Like, I don't know what else to say.
And once again, a game that looks like this, a side scroller that only has a handful of buttons, could make me feel what I felt during and at the end of that game.
Yeah, that's the masterfulness of it, in my opinion. But yeah, exactly right. Like, you literally you can play the whole game one-handed, but the feels you get from it are for a lifetime.
I think in large part that was due to a mixture of everything, the narrative, visuals, but also a huge part was due to the audio, the sound design, and the quote-unquote music they've added into this game. The audio in this game is also done so extremely well.
Yeah, it is. It's again, it's one of those simplicity but done masterfully. There's just just from a simple aspect of having it's like fading in and out from the position of the animals or the dogs. You know, it's a quiet sound, but as it gets louder, the dogs get louder to you. The volume increases to it intensifies the stress of the moment, which is, yet again,
right.
It's only the sounds of dogs barking. You know, it's a simple little soundbite which they just play with to bring it so much more gravitas.
A lot of people underestimate the role audio has in building tension.
No, I agree entirely.
And a dog barking, it's a very, very simple example, but it gets the point across that just increase the sound of the bark and, I don't know, maybe have the bark clip or whatever, but it builds such tension, much more tension than the visuals could.
Oh yeah, like it's one of those, like I said, I'm not into horror games, but Dead Space did it very well as well.
Yes,
I remember Jamie playing that, and it used to just be like a pencil would fall off a desk, you know, and somebody scripted that little moment when you're walking through there and that pencil falls off the desk, and you just, you know, you're so tense, you're just like, whoa, what was that? And that's, that in its own right, you know, that's an artistry. That is a very clever and well thought out. You know, these people spend weeks just planning that pencil movement. And again, this game, I can only imagine, did the exact same thing. They had this a massively talented group of people who planned out each and every part. And yet again, you can see it come off the screen when you're doing it. And that's another one. It's a labor of love. You can literally see it on every aspect.
One bit that made me realize the level of detail the audio engineers went through for the sound design in this game was near the start of the game, when you just this isn't a spoiler, this is the first 5 minutes again, when you outran the hunters in the mountains.
Yeah.
And you get to the cornfield.
Yeah, that's right. When you feel like you're a bit more safe now,
yeah. At that point, it's still raining, or it just finished raining.
That's right.
But you're being a little boy, you've got very soft footsteps. I turned up my volume and I realized that when he was running through the cornfield, his tiny footsteps, they plopped in mud. But what really, really impressed me was when I heard him brushing past leaves.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
In the cornfield.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's beautiful.
That's it. You can hear him brushing past these big cornfield leaves up against his arms and shoulders or whatever, and you can hear it in the audio, but I had to turn it up.
No, I can imagine.
These people know what they're doing.
It's like I had that one moment, like I said, it's not much of a spoiler. You're being chased and then you hide under a rock, and you've got the tenseness of them chasing you, and if you listen really quietly, you can hear him hiding his breathing. You know, he's just going...
What?
you can just, it's this very quiet breathing that he's trying to hide so that people don't, it's
I didn't even notice.
It's so beautiful. Like, it really is. It's excellent. Like I say, I think we'll be careful. This might turn into an hour episode if we're not careful.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
These small cues, just I think there are thousands of these audio cues that I'm sure unconsciously it just added to the entire experience, but we didn't notice them like we've noticed these two examples.
No, I'm sure that's 100%. I'm sure that's completely true. Like I said, it makes me want to play again and just start like listening for like things you miss.
No, I know what I'm doing after this.
Yeah, exactly. There, who needs to eat?
There's one part that sticks with me, and it has stuck with me since the first time I've played this game years ago. In the first time, once you get into, I don't want to spoil anything, but I think it's near the first third, or near the end of the first third of the game, you climb into a submarine. It's a tiny thing.
Yeah, I'd say you're
right. But
Mm.
it's just big enough and just strong enough for you to explore the depths of a huge body of water. Once you get into the submarine, you explore some canals in this area. But one part, you need to break through some pieces of wood to get to the other side. After you've done this, you get to a huge open area. Probably the biggest that you've been in since the start of the game. And the music, the ambience, it swells up with these synth chords, and it almost gives me a feeling of, it almost makes it very much made me felt like I'm overwhelmed. That bit where the submarine explodes through the pieces of wood and it embarks on this whole new area. It's another perfect example of the game makers using every bit they can to create a moment that you won't forget. This audio is now paired with the gameplay to create a significant moment.
Yeah, right. I get exactly what you mean. It's almost as if you feel like the world's gone open world now. Like you said, you've got the cramped little area, and then you go boom, and you think, whoa, what's going to happen now?
Exactly, and this sick world that's made you feel like an insignificant little boy, suddenly feeling quote unquote open world. That's overwhelming.
Yeah.
How, and they can do this with not story, not narrative.
Nah, just with some musical
gameplay.
cues. Yeah,
musical cues and gameplay.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It is really. It's like there's so many moments which makes your hair stand on edge. Just like going, whoa, like this. What's next?
Yeah.
No, like I said.
Yeah.
I couldn't fanboy enough.
So what the game does with its gameplay is it gets the pacing down really nicely. There are some moments where it's not tense at all, and then in the next part it gets really tense, only due to the gameplay.
Yeah, and you got to remember that this fundamentally, people, which we actually haven't pushed on upon. This is fundamentally a puzzle game. This is story aspects to it, but it is fundamentally, each time you go into a little segment, there is another relatively. I wouldn't say they're that difficult, but sometimes you feel like an idiot, and then you just have those. Oh, wait a minute, and then that's it. And then you work it out, and you go, oh yeah, that's quite simple. It's those types of puzzles. Yeah. It was those like throughout.
Like pulling a worm out of the pig's arsehole.
Yeah,
that was part of a puzzle.
Yeah, that's very true. Like that was actually probably one of the most aggressive moments in the game, because this pig starts charging you down. You're like, what? Like, I've got nothing. All I can do is jump. But yeah, that's probably one of the most aggressive parts. There are some others that just come to mind. But yeah, and they were all puzzles, and they're very smart puzzles. They are quite impressive. Again, another time where they sat down and they actually made puzzles that were quite clever and quite.
And in some cases, a lot of these puzzles are part of larger puzzles, bigger puzzles, longer, that take you much longer to figure out.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Like one bit, you're supposed to gather 20 people to activate a button.
That's right. Yeah.
That's one big puzzle, but inside that area, they've assembled, 7, 8, 9 different puzzles for you to figure out to fix this one bit.
Lots of mini puzzles to fix the big puzzle. Yeah, no, that's very true. So it does require a bit of brain work.
How did they create this?
Yeah, again, you can literally see that the company's hired, like, I don't know, puzzle makers. I don't know if that's a profession. I'm sure it is. But there's literally people who are like, okay, let's do this puzzle there and that puzzle there. And yet again, these people obviously love their job because they make very entertaining and it's quite hard to do, to make a puzzle entertaining and not too hard but rewarding. You know, it's not...
Of course.
That's not an easy task.
No, and I think the real difficult part of doing that is doing it consistently and keeping it fresh every single time.
No, exactly right. That's hard. Like I said, I can't even imagine trying. But you're absolutely right. You enjoyed each puzzle as it came up because they got a little bit more complex, and there was a little part of the old puzzle you did they brought over to the next puzzle, so you kind of know what to do.
And you still only have 2 buttons.
Yeah, again. Brilliant. You literally do, yeah. I think it's so clever.
We've been fanboying all over this game.
Yeah, I'm about to say, we should probably buy at dinner.
One thing that I also realized near the start of this game was whenever there's something, how would I say, something nicer on screen. There are a lot of horrible things on screen. Whenever there's something nicer, and nice in this case is not horrible. So whenever there's something not horrible on the screen, you, the player, the little boy, would be the one that does something horrible to it.
That's true. There are some weird moments where the answer to the puzzle seems a tad harsh.
Definitely. Also near the start of the game, I think it was right before this worm pig arsehole bit.
That's right. I know what you're going to say now.
You were followed by some little chicks.
Yeah, cute little happy things. I thought, you got to take into account this is after you've been chased and you're tense and everything, and these cute little yellow tweet chicks come out, and you go, this must be a nice safe area because it's got these chicks. It's very cute.
Directly after that, you would use these chicks as fodder.
Yeah, that's the only word for it.
Machine gun fodder
really...
to blast your way through some hay bales.
I saw that puzzle and I thought that can't be the answer. Like, that can't be. I cannot be loading these up as ammunition. Can I? And I could.
Lo and behold.
But let's a little bit out there. Let's just say no chicks were harmed in this game. They were,
of course,
traumatized a little bit. but they ended up
also
okay.
Can't confirm that they weren't harmed.
That's true. We can't. Like I said, too many questions. But that's.
But take our word for it.
But that's another fantastic thing about this game. Another question that arises, and it's a weird thing which I noticed, and I don't know why. There is no answer to it. But wildlife seemed attracted to you as the boy. And like I said, I won't give up too much. Chicks were attracted to you in the farm. There were fish that were attracted to you in some of the water scenes. They were drawn to you as if you were some sort of, I don't know, beacon or magnet or whatever you want to call it. I noticed that these, especially it seemed animals of, let's say, lesser intellect. They seem to, and if, like I said, when you're in some, like I said, you do have swimming scenes, you'll notice some fish just hang out with you as you swim, and they're drawn to you as you swim. Like, and I don't know why. Yeah, again, another question. This game. I
never noticed this.
Yeah, it's really, and the chicks, the fish. I can't remember if there were others, but yeah, that was a really weird. Another question that just popped into my head. Like, why are they attracted to this little boy?
Even the lesser intellect ones, but obviously aggressive animals like the dogs that would hunt you.
Yeah. So like I said, it was again this game has more questions than it does have answers, but that makes it makes it great. It's one of the reasons it's so good.
Next, we've got a couple of conversation points that we didn't have in our Digimon episode, but we felt is something that we did want to talk about for this game.
Yeah.
Probably because it's new. I'm not entirely too sure.
Yeah, it's probably going to be more a case in the newer games than any of the older or retro games that we review.
Yeah, good point. So, first of all, for performance, I had a glitch near the start of the game.
Yeah. Again,
in these mountains. This is not a spoiler. This happens in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Where you would need to dive deep into a pond.
Yeah, that's right.
To get past the section where a gunman is looking for you. Just before I entered this water, my game lagged out.
Oh, really?
It did.
Oh.
It did. It lagged out for 5 seconds, and I didn't know what to do. And when my game came to, I was dead in the water.
Oh, yeah, well, that's strange. Well, like I said, I had little to no. The only, performance issues, I sometimes noticed the audio lagged for, half a second.
Oh.
I'd hear, for example, if you break through a wall, I'd go through the wall, and then the break sound would be maybe half a second after I've actually already made it through the wall. Now, this could be game, could be my sound system or my pickup, but yeah, that's the only really thing performance-wise. That's really all I really got. I'm surprised by your long lag thing. That's interesting.
It's odd, and it wouldn't have been so bad if the game didn't continue on without me. And
no, exactly. That must have been frustrating. Yeah, no. But that's pretty much it on this game, because it's quite a simple. It's a minimalist game, so it doesn't have the greatest number of issues.
No, it's not technically. It's not a technical powerhouse for your computer or your game station, whatever.
Yeah, no, exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, you'll have to know that Nick actually has the better PC than I do. Like mine's, I'm still running DDR3 and I don't know, some sort of graphics card, maybe a hamster on a wheel. But it's funny how his game lags, but mine ran fine. So let's just put it out there. Don't throw your computers away yet, people. They still have uses.
It's karma.
Exactly.
My computer being smarter than me hates me for having
to run such a slow,
having to run
easy
Digimon
game.
World.
Yeah, exactly. It's still hating that.
It's still holding it against me.
That's exactly it.
But besides performance issues, the one that I had, and it sounds like the one you had, I didn't have anything else.
No, not really. Like I said, this game it's pretty, it was pretty finished. It's pretty well finished off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I checked online how much this game costs. And it's $20.
Yeah. Which I thought
$20 US.
Yeah. I thought that was a bit, to be honest, pricey.
Yeah, same. Because this game is very short.
Yeah, this is, ladies and gents, this is only a few hours. No, I'll say a few hours. 6? Is that pushing it?
I think 6 is...
Okay, it is one of those short games. We all know what they're like out there. This isn't one that you spend weeks playing or anything like that. But it'd be weird if it were.
Besides maybe a secret ending or two, there's not much replayability.
Oh no, like I said, I'd agree that this game, apart from going to chase back audio cues and stuff like that, it's one of those games you can't, unless you forget what's going on. It's one of those games that's not easy to play again. You can watch somebody else play it. You can watch them relive the whole storyline. Which is quite fun. But it's one of those games that I don't think you'd never get that same level of enjoyment as you did the first time. Which is some games you can, but you just won't, because you know what's coming up. And it's like some movies that it's the same thing. You've got to play it once, but it's got almost virtually zero replayability, except for that alternate ending, maybe.
And having to pay $20, the experience is worth it, but
and to think how old it is. How many? 6 years now. It's still they're $20.
New.
Yeah, $20 just too much. I know.
Yeah, I think 10, 15. That's
definitely.
Fine.
When you see it on sales, pick it up. Just don't wait for that Steam sale or whatever's coming up before you grab it. Really, really, definitely the way to go.
But I mean, it's a bit of it's an odd conversation point, because we've been going on with how great this game is, and the experience of playing this game is so phenomenal. Is that not worth $20?
Yeah, well, that's one of those weird discussions, isn't it? Because you've got what just came out recently? The Saints Row game. Now that's what $50-$60, and it's supposed to be kind of a mess. Now that's $60 for
a long mess, much longer than 5 or 6 hours.
Exactly, or that's $60, 3 times the cost, and you've got something that's a lot shorter, but it's masterful at $20. It's the $20 thing. It's just it's because you can only play it once. For me, that's what that kills the price. It's because if you can go back to it, then of course, $20 is fine, because you keep it forever and you can play it whenever you want. But this is such a once, maybe twice playthrough type game that just that price point just grates me a little. Like I said,
Agreed.
everybody listening, you've got to play it, but yeah, like I say, Steam sale, like to be reasonable and adulting and stuff like that. Steam sale it, don't.
Or go check if some of your friends have it in their library.
No, yeah, exactly. Ask around, because it's worth the experience. And I don't say this because I like the idea of giving Playdead lots of money, because that means they'll make more games like this. I'm also kind of frugal, and that's a bit expensive.
We have.
Oh yeah, the score, right?
We've taken a look at each segment of this game, and we've given each segment a score. We've aggregated our score, and we've gotten an average letter grade that we give this score. For Digimon World, we gave it a big fat F. Yeah, it was red, it was wet, and nobody liked it.
No, just painful.
Inside, we've given Inside a B+.
Yeah, and I think it would have been an A if it hadn't been for that price point. I know it's a very fussy thing to be stuck on, but I think that would have been an A if it was just like amazing and everybody could get hold of it at a nice price. That would just have been the cherry on top, you know. Yeah, it's a shame.
Agreed.
But like I said, it's a shame if we'd reviewed this during a Steam sale, it may have got that A. But that wasn't the case this time.
Right, David, we've given Inside a B+, which I'm quite happy with. I would have been happy with an A as well, but you have a very good point with the value for money, the price point, and so on. Do you have any closing statements you'd like to make on that game?
It's one of those things. Even if you don't like the genre, if you think it looks boring, if it's I know that's we've got all Fortnite and all these online games. You've got to. I'd never heard of this game. Oh, I had. So I'd heard of it and never played it. We all have busy lives, we all have kids, and we all have problems. But this game was genuinely just a lot of fun, and it was quite a good escapism. And I think it is worth everyone's time. Like I said, it's one of those games you should try and find that little bit of time. We all have it. The time that we go into our own little zones or something like that, or you've got 10 minutes break or something like that. Let me just say, this game's got lovely little save states. So you can actually play it for like 10 minutes and then stop. Because we should have mentioned that. Yeah, the save states are like I think it's like every puzzle. And every puzzle takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how hard you... So it's lovely. You can actually just stop and play. It's got a lovely little that ability to it. And it is worth a try. Everybody should give it a try. It's one of those games that will stick with you. And that's very rare. That's very rare. You should give it a go.
Definitely.
On that note of giving things a go, please, just everybody try to share this podcast to as many people as you can. We'd really appreciate all the help. Your teachers, grandparents, naval bases, I don't know, well, there's a lot of people, churches. Just, this is our passion. We're all trying to squeeze it into all real life issues, and this is one thing that we really love doing, and we just love to share it with everybody else. And
100%.
We are like we're learning, so we will be getting all the Discords and everything else going, because we'd love to get in contact and have you contact us. And we've got like lists of questions we want to ask everyone. So we just ask that you please just subscribe, share, and join in. It would be so much, means so much to us.
Please do get in on the ground floor. This podcast, we're going all the way.
Yeah,
we've got hundreds of episodes, thousands actually.
And it's keep growing
lined up. And this, it's going to keep growing. Please join in on us. Share this podcast. Subscribe. Leave a review. Leave a rating. If you've got the time. If you think we're worth it, please go ahead. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah.
On this episode of the Critical Arcade podcast. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, keep tuned.
Cheers.
Cheers.